Hi Jim, the league season starts on Saturday at Dumbarton. What's your thoughts heading into the first game of the league season?
Yeah, I think it's kind of strange because we've already had a number of games now in the Betfred Cup, so we're well into the competition, the competitive aspect of football. And to go to Dumbarton is another step up. There's no doubt about that. Notoriously difficult side to play against. I've said it time and time again, Stevie does a fantastic job there, and once again we're looking forward to it, but we also understand that it will be an extremely competitive match.
Is there an extra level of anticipation when it's a league? Is it different from the Betfred Cup? Is there something added to that at all?
Yeah, I think everybody looks forward to the league campaign starting. I think that it's obviously where you're judged. Ultimately your consistency over the course of the whole season, that's important. So I think you always look forward to that, and that's, as I said, where players really earn their stripes. You can have a one-off game in a cup competition, you get a lot of publicity for it, but it's that week in, week out consistency in a very competitive league that really is the test of whether you're a good side or not.
So obviously going into your fourth season at Capital, you won League One, finished fifth, finished fourth, got to the playoffs. So is it a bit building on that? Is it difficult to keep doing that every year when you've done so well year upon year?
Yeah, I mean, football's about trying to move forward. It doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you have a little dip, and it's just about whether you can manage that dip, and if it is, can you make it as minimal as possible. But you're always trying to move forward, trying to improve the quality of the football, trying to improve the club in all aspects of it. And I think Morton is moving forward in a lot of areas, both on and off the pitch. But ultimately, I think you're judged by each season, not by the last season. It's the season ahead of you, which is important. The seasons that have gone are in the history book. So for us, it's about trying to maintain that level of performance. We know it'll be difficult. I think last year we quietly, went about our business. No one spoke about us too much until the tail end of the season, and we managed to get enough points on board to be in the playoffs. I think this year people will be much more aware of us, and I think we'll be someone that the teams will be really prepared for this season round.
Do you look at targets? Do you look at anything at all at that point? So then do you look at last season's points tally, or do you just look at picking up as many points as possible again?
No, you just try and do the best you can week in, week out. That's all you can do. You don't really know how many points you're going to require if you want to be in those playoff situations, or many points you'll need to stay in the league. It really just depends on that level of consistency. And I think it is such an even league this year that I think each team is more than capable of taking points from each other. So if you can get on a good run, and that's what we done last year in the kind of middle part of the season in particular, we done a really good run, and that gave us a bit of breathing space. So it's really just about getting a run of wins, and if you can manage that, then that gives you a fantastic platform. But listen, it's hard enough to win one game in this division without looking too far beyond that.
Speaking of that, you've got Dumbarton on Saturday. You've always had difficult games, tight games against Dumbarton. You've always praised Stevie Aitken for the job he's done there. Well,
he has, because he's always recruited really well, and every time he loses players, which is natural when you're a part-time team, and if you've got good players, they move on, they want to maybe look at full-time football. So we've taken likes of Robert Thompson and Dan Barr, and the likes of Andy Stirling and things like that, went down to Queen of the South, and a lot of the players have moved, and that's tribute to Stevie, because they're good players and people want them. So, but every year he seems to manage to do his homework and his research and gets good players in again, and I think he's done so in the summer. So again, all I can focus on our team. We've still got a few players missing. We've still got things to work on, but we'll go there and Saturday and give 100% and see if that's good enough to get the points.
Is that the squad ready for the season now, Jim? Is that it shaped up, or you maybe loan market, or how's it looking sort of the moment for you?
We're not quite sure yet, because we've not really had all the players available. I mean, for instance, Thomas Aware and Nico Day haven't been available in any of the games that we've played. Obviously, Gary Oliver's been ill for the last few weeks. Gary Harkins has been missing through suspension as well for a couple of games. So I've never really had the full quota of players to see where we are in terms of squad strength, in terms of the balance of the team and the options. So once we get all these guys back in again, then we can perhaps look to see whether we need to strengthen, and if we do, what areas.
Speaking of that, you mentioned Gary Harkins, Darren Barr, both suspended on Saturdays. Any other team news?
Yeah, we're still, Thomas aware, still missing, although he is now stepping up his training, but he hasn't had any games at all yet, no bounce games or anything like that, so you know, he needs to get a couple of games under his belt to try and get up to speed. Ricky Alami's now back to full training as well. Again, missed a couple of weeks, but he did do all the pre-season and did have a few games, so he's not too far away. Gary Oliver's still a bit to find yet in terms of strength, so we've still got a few missing. Dan Barr, as you mentioned, is suspended, but he's injured at this moment anyway, Dan. So we're still a little bit stretched at this early stage of the season, but you know, as I said, the players that we have to focus on are the players who are available.
Excellent, Jim. Thanks very much for your time and good luck on Saturday at Dumbarton.
Thank you.